our original images. We have This is why we are downloading resources. We need these resources so we can create our web. Why I'm talking like this? Now, in a second, we are taking a score box where we write a score as a S3 tag and H1 tag as the score, real score what we have. But when we render this, yeah, we found it. So, but we don't have that sliding on the preview which we have seen. So I'm writing some stylings. I've created a padding and margin for all tags, and now a body tag which align at up center, justify content center, minimum height 100 vh, minimum width 100%, background we have taking a radial background, so radial background, and this is why the style guide is very important, guys. This gives easy to us to get code easily. Yes, this is a secret. Don't speak to anyone else. Now, we are taking a font family which we have copied, and now I am pasting it. I am not getting a it is a typing mistake. So here we have given a font as a family. Now we are creating our heading tag. So head div we have used as a selector with width 15%, padding 30 pixels, border solid 2 pixels. Now we have the heading outline color which made us easy work, and now I'm adding the margin with 30 pixels, top and auto remaining. Now I'm adding a border radius of 20 pixels, and this is over. Now head div dot logo. This is a hierarchy level selector, so please be very very specific about the selectors which you use to get style. And now I'm styling a score tag with float to the right, width of 120 pixel, height of 100 pixel, background color will be white, text alignment center, border radius 10 pixels, padding 10 pixels, margin top minus 15 pixels. Yeah, we have get our scoreboard. Yes, it's a scoreboard, but we are saying that it has a color. The store score tag has color. So store score tag dot h3 has a score text color. Yes, we have done it. Now the score of h1 will be the color as a dark color, which is already given in style guide. And now font size will be 70 pixels, margin top will be 0. Here we have got our margin. Yeah, so you can see our head. There are some problem with the upward. Yes, we are going to comment it out. We are not seeing now. And also we don't need this front end, so I'm going to comment it out. So here we have to make a middle part. So I'm going to write another section which is play, where we are going to do the stuff. Please be specific with the tags. That's the main problem. Sorry. We are creating a class first, then inside that we are creating another div with the class options. Inside options we are getting an image which we are background image of that div, which is a triangle, and source is inside images. We have got all the images with the resource. This is called resource. Thanks, Frontend Mentor. And now we have got button with class blue, and now I am inside it is image with class paper, and source which will be inside images of paper. So icon paper.hvg and alt. This is alternative if images is not low. I'm going to copy this all button 3 times, and now separate it out with the yellow and red buttons, and inside it I'm going to separate this scissors and rock class in images and resources. So now inside this button I have taken an icon class which will be a common class, and now alt is not required as much. You be to be specific about the images. Now I am going to add a style to our play. So here I am going to add a first. I'm sorry, I'm doing the work. I forgot. Yeah, in the first, here we have right the height of 400 pixels, width of 100%, and align item center, position relative, margin top 100 pixels, and now I'm going to add a triangle style, position absolute, z index -1, top 60 pixels, left 50%, margin left -175 pixels. Yeah, we have got our triangle in the middle. Now we will add styling to our icons, So border radius 50%, padding 30 pixels, height 180 pixels, width 180 pixels, border 20 pixels solid, position absolute. Now we will add separately with each icon which we have created as blue with border color here given here. So I will select the first one and copy it and paste it here, and then left may 40%. Remember it's an absolute div, so we can make a left and right changes. I have added a margin left with minus 90 pixels, and then color which is second color which we have given, and box shadow has insert 0 pixels, 77 pixel, y-axis 2 pixel, blur, see, actually not blur, it's a shadow, and we have a second tab, so it acts like a button. Okay, but box shadow is very important, so now we are writing a second button, yellow, border color which has given us in a style guide. Yes, is a with right 42% and margin right minus 90 pixels. Color style guide help please. Yes. Box shadow, you are going to do the same thing as previous with the blue, but here the second color will be the color which has border color. Sorry. Now for the red button, you are going to add a style. Same style it will be. This is very confusing, I think. So border color HSL, which is being given in the style guide. Yeah. Now our top with 230 pixel, left with 43%, color will be given in the style guide. Now a border shadow with insert as same thing, copied, paste, just change the color or it's the border colors. Okay, yeah, we have got our icons, but it's not like an icon, so I am adding a hover effect which will make this icon as a real button. So I'm adding a box shadow as none, and animation as transform will translate y as 10 pixels. Now see, yeah, I like to do this every time. Yes, every time. Now we are going to make this rules button. So after this section, I'm going to write another section with id at rule. Inside this section, I'm gonna create a div class called rule box. Inside rule box, I'm creating a button with class rule button href. Yet is a connection which is not required, or in case we will have to make any. Now I'm going to add the styling within the rule box. So selected as a rule button with height 40 pixels, width will be 130 pixels, float right, border 2 pixels solid, which will the color we are using is same as the header outline. So I'm going to copy it and paste it. So now in margin I'm going to write 30 pixels and background color as a transparent, and now I'm in a border radius of 10 pixels and color of white. So let's see, but inside it the font family have to change. So I'm copying this font family. I'm going to paste it. I'm writing the font family here. And now I'm writing a letter spacing of 3 pixels. See now, this looks like exact. So now, okay. Now I'm writing a hover effect on this rule button too, and on hover the color changes to the dark color and background color changes to the white. Now see, it's working. I like it. All of this button working. Now in this we have to make a sec. These are the various steps which we have to follow, which is not necessary to follow every step. So we can skip this step and make our own customizable div. So after the first div I'm going to making a second div which will only have 2 buttons. Now let's get started. Oh sorry, section with id second. Yes, with the inside this we create div class container. This will contain 2 buttons, so I'm making a 2 class as a box and a user. First one, this will have a h1 with you picked, and second we have a button with class, and inside the button we have an image with source. I'm going to copy this and make a second button too, but I'm going to change this class user to the comp and this to the house picked. Okay, yeah, you can see this, but we haven't added a styling, so I'm going to do that now. But at first we are going to add a class to the second buttons. So I'm starting making with CSS with a height 400 pixel, width 100%, align item center position relative margin top 100 pixels. Now inside second we are creating a container with display flex, text alignment center, box with width 50%, height 100%, color white, font, I'm not going to font family, yes, copying it and add F, yes. Now a letter spacing of 3 pixels, yes, we are fine now, but the buttons are not looking good, so we are going to change the styling of our button. At first we are going to make a box which H1 have a margin of 50 pixels. Now I'm going to use a container icon. Make it, this will be the similar as an icon, but this will different in the way which will not have any hover effect or something where we so these styles I'm going to add it, right 0, top 0, border 30 pixels solid, yeah, we get it. Now in container icon this is image tag with width 60%. It is not showing when we add a red, yes, and we add a source with similar source as red has, yeah, we are getting that. So I'm going to delete this and not use right now. Now we're selecting a empty class. We are making this empty class as we have shown is in the second style. It will have no border, no button. So we are making this empty class to have a same effect. I'm adding an empty class. It is not working. Wait a second. Yeah, it has, sorry, a button has the both the classes, so it is not a hierarchy level, it is the same. So be specific the selectors, these are very main thing, and also I have used the class as a second, but it is a ID, so I'm gonna change, and now we add a third section with ID as final. Now with the div inside it, which will have same as previous div, but this divs had the different classes and which and also a new div which will contain as a declare. So at first we have containing a play div with h1 as you picked, and a button which is same. And now I'm copying this and making a second way. Now I have made it two buttons, and now I'm going to add a new class to this button so I can specify these buttons on the third way. Now I'm going to add a new div which will declare that we have won or not, or it is a draw match. So here we are using a h1 with you win and button as type as reset and class as play again, and inside it we are writing this reset class is not this reset type is not worth it, so I'm going to delete it. And now I have going to style this final sections. Yeah, this is a remember this is also an ID, so I'm going to style this. And now height 400%, width 100%, align item center, position relative, and margin top will be 100 pixel. Yeah, we have got. Now inside final we have the result class which has display flex, align item center, color will be white, and I'm going to copy the font family. Yes, yeah, we have got. Now inside results we have two divs, which is the play divs with width 35%, height will be 100%, and now div dot play div inside hierarchy level as h1. I'm writing a margin 50 pixels, and we're going to see this. Yes, now I'm writing a declare which will have width of 30%, height of 100%, justify content center, padding top 200 pixel actually, which will be the middle of it. Yes. Now we are going to add a declare h1 with font size 50 pixels, position relative, z index 1000, which we are going as a top of all of the divs and contents. So yes, and now I'm going to design a button of declare with width 200 pixels, height 50 pixels, border radius 10 pixels, background color white, border none. Yeah, and font family. Yeah, copied font family. Font size 1 rm and letter spacing of 2 pixels. Yes, we have got. Now the color of that test is specified, so I'm using this one. Yes. Now going to declare dot button and adding a hover effect to this, which we have done a red seen in previous style guide. Though I'm copying this rock list color and paste it, so when I'm hover it I found a red color. Yes. Now going extra classes which will be helpful when we are writing a JavaScript. So you don't need to make a if you want you can use another type. I'm going to make a easy JavaScript with, so I'm using this extra classes which we are going to add when we need it. Box shadows, color, what you have to do, shadow, color. This is a win when somebody wins, so that background of that button will as increasing side shadows. So I'm making a 4 shadows which will show this effect. Now I'm going to add a z index of -1. Yes, we haven't got anything because we haven't added it in anywhere. Now we have second class way at extra class which have display as none. Yes, we have nothing to do with it. We have not added, so check it. Now we can see this effect. We don't need it now. Now we have to contain a rule container which will be sure to add this. I have to create a div which hold up all of this part, and inside this part I can make outside section which will had a container. Class is equals to rule container, and inside it I have an image of rule image. Source will be images with rules. Yes, as we've seen in a design, if you see in a design it has a middle box like structure with background white color, but I'm not going to use this type. We are going to make his styling as different from as we have suggested. So here it is. Now we have to add a styles to this. So wait. Yeah, sorry. Now we are going to style with the rule container, inside it the rule image with width 40%, position will be absolute, top will be 30%, left of 30%, cross heaven also has an this cross is not able to visible clearly, so I have a plan so I can make it more designable in the future. It will be more reflective. I'm not adding major styling to this. Now I'm adding an extra class blur. When we use the rule container, we need this blur. Yes, after blur we can see this. If we add the blur and this styling, yes. Now we don't need this in future. I'm not going to use this, so I'm deleted this. Yes, I'm not using to use blur now, and this is not looking good, so I have to close it, which will have in the JavaScript. And here I am using a vanilla JavaScript with a detailed uh, event listeners, and every time I'm using document dot query selectors because I want to be very specific in every step, so in which we are using. And now at first we are going to uh, add a display value of none, which I'm holding in a visible class. So anything is problem here? Yes, I have not acted as a script. Yes, we have need to add a script of relation JavaScript and link it up with the source location is index.js. Here also I have used a second and final as a class, but it is not a class, it is a ID. So yeah, you have the first section present. Now I'm going to write an actual procedure what is going to happen. So let's score is 0, constant button option with red, blue, yellow. Yes. Now for var I is equal to 0, I is less than or equals to 2, it is used as a 0, 1 and 2 as an array, so I'm using this out. And now I'm going to add an event listener to a button. These button that's yellow, red and blue buttons, which will click, and in on click it will give an output which is stored in button class. And now about that, we are using a query selector dot first dot class list and add visible to the first. When the button is selected, we want to go to the second section which we have made, so this will add and remove the visible from the respective. Yes, it is working now. You can see it. Yes, buttons. I like buttons. Now you are adding and for loop inside it, which is equals to 0, j is less than equals to button class dot length j plus plus. j plus plus. If button class of j position value is red or yellow or blue, we are going to use a console.log butter.j. Here I am checking is it working or not. Yes, it is working. We are getting the class list. Yeah, red icon. Yes, this is working. Now I'm not requiring every time the console log. I am now adding a constant which will store this item. I'm using another function making which will be the computer choice and which will a random value and which is random value inside a choice, and that choice location of a button options will give a color which will make us easily to identify what color has computer choose, and we can add a styling in the future. Here a choice. Now I will return this computer color, and inside this I am using a constant value variable which will store this function output. Yes. Now I'm passing these const variables inside another function which we are going to make now. Yes, function compare colors with player and bot. So set timeout, and if we are going to set this as a compare, we are required to go on a final stage. We don't require to remain on the second stage, but here I am not adding any other button where we use to second stage then third final stage. In place of that I am adding a timeout which will make sure we have a second section opened only for 1 second. Now inside of player, if player is equals to red and bot is equals to yellow, or player is equal to red, I am using a first section as a condition where I am winning this match. So I'm changing as per my logic where which contains this color. So I'm writing now document.query selector. Now declare inside declare the h1.inner sta inner text. Actually the text will be used as you win. Now as a score, I'm increasing the score now, and document.query selector dot play div button dot bot. Please be not bot, it's a player. Sorry. please be specific with the selectors that are main. So now document dot query selector dot play div button dot bot. Now it will remove the win class if present in the second time or third time. So we are now using another condition with else if in which we are losing this match. So I'm going to actually copy above items and paste it. I'm doing a reverse order of the previous one. Yellow bot will be red, and now I'm getting blue, and player bot will get yellow, player will get red, bot will get blue. Now inside this I'm going to copy and paste it out. Instead of you win, I'm getting a you lose, and class list dot player will not present. Now bot will present, and player. I'm going to reverse it out. Now as if another condition where player is equals to bot. Now if equals come, then the match will be drawn, so it will remove both the condition class from both the query, and inner text will be withdrawn. I'm going to copy this out and paste it. Yeah, I'm going to change the score value as 0 when we are losing, and remove both win class from both the buttons if present. Now going to refresh this, check out, yes, play again, score 0. Now I'm going to use a declare dot query selector dot button that play again. We have to wait here, take us to the at first section, so it will reset all the value. Query dot selector final will add a class of visible, and document dot query selector with a first, which is a class dot remove visible. Yes. Now document dot query selector with score h1, inner text will be score. Document query selector with the rules box dot add a event listener of click with function as a callback function. If container is equal to false, add a variable which consists this thing, container equals to false. Container equals to false, then document dot query selector dot area which class list dot add which blur. and now document.query selector with dot rule dot container dot class dot remove visible and container will be the true. If the cross is have a click, so I am using an event listener to the cross with click and a callback function, and to the document selector dot cross dot add event listener. I'm not using, why I'm using again, sorry, dot area dot class list dot remove blur. Yes, document dot query selector role container dot class list dot add visible. Yes, and the container value will be false again. I'm using a switch to make style the buttons which we have available. This is a player section, so we are styling a player button. If the user have gotten the red color, then document.user.query selector will remove a yellow or blue color. If we have got in a previous serious time or in future we are getting a red color, which will remove these colors and now add a red color. Now I'm using query selector dot image to image, and source will be which will red consist. So red consists a rock image. You copy this course and paste it, and now document dot query selector dot play div dot player use a class list remove yellow or blue, selected to the same. This play div is, we have seen it is a final section, so this above are similar, so I have copied and pasted. Now break, and now the second case of yellow. I'm going to select all this and paste it. I'm going to change the yellow to the red and red to the yellow, which we are going to add actually, and the yellow will contain another source of images. To paste it, there is a correction, and see to it there's a source which has had a right location. Yeah. Now at the third case, blue. Going to copy this and paste it and change the blue value to the yellow and yellow value to the blue, which is an add. Now copy this source, blue source, container paper. We have got now. Now we also have to add a style to the computer section buttons. I'm doing it here. We have computer choice, so use a compare color. Case red. Case red. Adding yes, set a timeout because it is a computer section, and in first part we have make an animation which we had a empty button, then we are adding actually make a system which will let the user think it is the computer is taking time for his button. So I'm setting a timeout, and now I'm doing the same thing as previous users. Button image dot class source. Source I'm going to add here, copy, paste. Now section timeout till 5000. Yes, I'm going to copy and paste which to change the class of every item. Plative dot pot. Okay, I'm going to break it. Now I'm going to add a second case, which is a case of yellow. And why is this showing error? This is not required. Okay. Case yellow. I'm going to copy and then paste. Going to use a case blue. Copy, paste. I'm now going to edit this all. Change the yellow to red. Red to yellow. And now copy the sources as per the requirement. To red, red to blue, copy the blue, now paste it, not now, not there, sorry. I'm using computer color, and this I'm using a compare color. Sorry, so sorry. Computer color it is now. See, we are getting a right thing. So if you have any problem, you can check out in the description. Yeah, I'm not using a score. Okay, I'm not Here is the image. Yeah, it is working now. If you have any problem, you can check out in the descriptions. And so, in video next lecture, in next lecture we are going to have a media query, which is make this app in using in a different devices.